Okay, so since we couldn't finish the perk hole tests last weekend, we had to kind of start over this weekend. We filled them up yesterday to let them saturate, and now Andy is going through and doing some measurements to figure out how much they have gone down in the past hour while we were out taking the dogs for a walk. So Andy can tell you a little bit more about what he's finding out from this perk hole test. In the meantime, enjoy a picture of a really, really cute mutt who really likes being a ranch dog. So what are we seeing?
So I'm seeing that this first hole has dropped 1¼ inches in 93 minutes.
Is that good or bad?
I really don't know. I thought that they were definitely going to drop like an inch in 10 minutes. So I think the less it drops means that soil doesn't absorb the moisture as fast when you have your effluent come off, which means your field needs to be a little bit bigger. On the other hand, I was also reading if the soil lets it drain too fast, and since we're on about a 7-degree incline here, the problem is it can drop and end up seeping out downhill. So this means it will go down and not sideways. So positives and negatives, it all comes down to an engineer that then will tell us how big of a field we need to take the water that we would be putting in.
So the information that we're putting in will end up going on our septic system permit and going to Sublette County, and then Sublette County will have their engineer take a look at it, and then they'll tell us how many filtrators we need, so that when our contractor comes up in a few weeks, he'll have a better idea to know exactly what he needs to put in. So this is for the leach field for the septic system, to make sure that the waste doesn't end up like in the groundwater down below, down in the creek, down in the spring, that type of thing. So trying to make sure that it's all legit, done correctly, so we don't have any problems down the road with any of our water systems. You can hear a side-by-side going by in the distance. How are these two doing?
They didn't drop quite as much as the first one. These both dropped, this one dropped about 3/4 of an inch, that one dropped about an inch. That first one dropped an inch and a quarter, so this ground looks kind of sandy, but it definitely doesn't soak in near the water that I would think it would. So that's the first. We have to do this up to 6 fills, looks like. And they're supposed to try to be about 3, your last 3 are supposed to have about the same amount of drop each time. That way the ground is supposed to be saturated, and it shows just how fast it'll absorb the moisture and everything. When they do that whole septic field, they're going to clean this all out. Then they'll put down gravel. Then they'll set this dirt back on top of what are called infiltrators. They're just kind of these domed, like half a pipe that runs down, and the bottom is open, so all the liquid can run in there, and then it just seeps into the ground. The whole thing with the septic system is you have a tank at the beginning we'll have to have 1,000-gallon tank due to, and it's based off the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and we're going to have 2 bedrooms, so anything, they start with 1,000 gallons. If you get over 3 bedrooms, then you got to go to a 1,500-gallon tank. So all of your waste goes into that tank, and believe it or not, bacteria will decompose everything, and that tank has kind of 2 parts. So all the solid stuff falls to the bottom of the first part, all the liquids just kind of go into the tank. The bacteria chew everything up and take everything out, so the water coming out, I mean, I wouldn't want to drink it, but it is actually considered safe to put back into the ground. Then the bacteria in the ground and everything, they just turn around and they make it back into good water. So by the time it does, in the 100 years it'll take to get down to the creek, that water will be, safe and everything.
Okay.